So I want to make a quick video because, honestly, compared to K9-Aversion, I don't want to drone on and get to my point because, yeah, it's made clear, especially with K9-Aversion's videos, she can't get to the point, or if anything, tries to repeat herself over and over and over again till she thinks that, maybe repeating herself will, get her point across, when in reality it doesn't. And by the way, her videos go between 15 to 20 minutes talking about the same thing over and over again, and also referring to her videos, which aren't factual to begin with. But anyways, it's always fun to discuss and rebut a lot of her videos due to the fact that when it comes down to it, some of the things she says or presents is batshit crazy. And for those who don't know who this is, K9-Aversion is someone who has been a part of the dog hating, or actually no, the occult-like behavior of dog haters. I think I should make that distinction, because again, there are people that are afraid of dogs, but there are those people who literally are acting like a cult, drinking the Kool-Aid, and in some sense are subscribed to the same behaviors, delusion, and fears that their puppet masters decide to present to them. K9-Aversion is one said person who has unfortunately succumbed to this occult-like behavior following the teachings of another delusional individual by the name of I Hate Dogs, who is an individual who has repeatedly discussed in verbatim his hatred for dogs, as well as giving promotion to animal abuse. Fun. So, just so you guys know where this individual has gotten her information to begin with. But apparently they had a falling out, which I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I'm not gonna lie. Looking at her channel now, compared to what it was before, there's no real difference to her content. It's always the same thing. But anyways, it's always funny when responding to her videos, because she continuously tries to claim that she's factual, when in reality she is not. Especially when it comes down to, if you do a quick Google search, which I have asked her audience and my audience time and time again to do a quick Google search, do your own research on the topic itself, because clearly when it comes to K9-Aversion, she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. But in her video, she tries to make remarks about humans, or at least, people who own dogs, people who interact with dogs themselves, treating dog owners as well as dogs itself as a sort of hive mind, tries to come up with ridiculous claims as to why to not own dogs, especially with her big go-to discussing, dog attacks, which, if I may, it's offensive, especially when using, the tragedy of dog bites, as well as people who have suffered through dog bites, using their own pain to fuel her own delusional and fear-fueled agenda when it comes to dogs and dog attacks. But let's be honest here, especially when we're responding to a large degree, responding to her recent video, which was Extraordinary Claims Needs Extraordinary Evidence. This individual tries to make the argument, especially when it comes to, again, repeating herself, regurgitating the same information over and over again, that she has half-heartedly looked up that all dogs should be banned due to, certain breeds or certain dogs committing dog attacks, when in reality, not every dog will attack a human being. Not every dog will be destructive as she tries to claim them to be. Which goes into my usual statement where we discuss that usually bad dogs equal bad owners. Which, for those who don't know what that means, usually it means that dogs themselves, because let's face it, dogs, like any other animal, can think. And with the proper training, dogs can understand certain cues or understand certain behaviors and what not to do in a household. It's not hard, especially when it comes down to, again, with interaction with dogs and the proper training. dogs can display or not display certain behaviors. But this individual doesn't want to acknowledge that sort of thing, especially when, again, ironically, she tries to claim that this, or the dog itself, is not even something that comes from evolution. So, in that regard, it's hilarious, especially when she wants to try to claim herself to be factual. Now, repeatedly, too, I've also had her fans come on discussing in verbatim their thoughts on the dog topic itself, which, to some regard, some of them either regurgitate the same crap that K9-Aversion has spewed, not giving new information, or, if anything, will leave links to her videos, which, in a sense, is not factual in the slightest, which I have to kind of turn her own title against her in this situation, because, again, with her claiming that all dogs are bad, that all dogs are evil, that all dogs should be banned because of her main argument, again, which I feel is disrespectful to people who suffer through dog attacks. Her claims, her extraordinary claims, need extraordinary evidence. So, in the regard of the situation with K9-Aversion, do I consider her factual? No. Because a quick Google search with anything that she says in her videos can be refuted. And I have to say this again, especially when it comes down to, her fans, because they want to, continuously try to badger me about being unfactual and badger me about some of the things I say, especially taking me out of context with some certain things that I say or do on my videos. Because, again, I can understand people being afraid. There's a huge difference between, again, individuals who are afraid of dogs, but there's another when you have an individual who is not only afraid of dogs, but allows their own fear and delusions get the best of them and spew a hate rhetoric towards an animal or a group of animals that, honestly, doing a quick Google search could clearly be understood. So I guess final words, especially with those people who watch her content thinking that it's factual. If you're going to watch her content, go ahead. But I ask you, like any other time that I make these videos, don't just look at her words and act as if it's the word of God, because it's not. If anything, I ask you to question some of even question some of the things I say. Do the research yourself. Instead of just, again, taking her word and making it seem like, or expecting it to be factual, do Google checks of what she says and does. Hell, do Google checks of what I say or do. And make an opinion for yourself instead of, just listening to her blindly. And if you want further interactions with dogs, because, again, not just looking at, articles will do anything for you, have actual experience with the animal. Again, because I know that there are certain people that are afraid of dogs, but at the very least, have some interaction, or at least understanding with the animals that you discuss or talk about. That's what I'm saying. Don't blindly listen to K9-Aversion. And again, don't blindly listen to me. Because you may not agree with me, which is understandable. But at the same time, every single one of my videos that I've discussed thus far, I have Google searched a variety of different things that she says, and those say otherwise to what she says in her videos. And one other final thing that I'm going to say is, and I harp on this every time I discuss this individual. This person is clearly not for humans, or at least clearly not for human nature, or if anything, nature itself, considering that the fact that, again, dogs who are evolved from wolves are part of nature, and is trying to, in some degree, attack that form of nature, regardless of whether or not it is part of human society. She has applauded, in the past, the harm and, if anything, the well-being of dogs and other animals. She has openly applauded the actions of a variety of her followers who, as we've mentioned time and time again in video, have threatened the lives of certain individuals who have questioned her logic and questioned the logic of individuals like I Hate Dogs. So, to some degree, especially when it comes down to her claiming that she is for human safety, also going further than that, doesn't even discuss other things that happen in human society that would be atrocious. Claims for, the safety of humans, but only harps on the fact that, when it comes down to dog attacks. Looking at her channel, looking at a quick glance of her channel, the only thing that she discusses is her delusions of her fear of dogs. That is the only thing that comes up. Nothing about, what goes on in third world countries. Nothing that goes on in human society as is at this time currently, especially when it comes down to the variety of different shootings. Not even going into the fact that more likely shootings that happen, especially shootings in high schools, may be the result of not only the kids being bullied or harassed, but rather the possibility of the individual suffering from some kind of mental, something that's going on mentally with them. But instead, this individual only fuels their delusion and their fear of dogs. But anyway, that's just my opinion on the whole situation, or at least the channel itself of K9-Aversion. What are your thoughts? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, especially, because I'm more likely going to have a couple of people from her channel that are going to be coming by and saying quite a few choice things. But, that's their opinion. And just like any opinion, it will be challenged. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching. Truly appreciate it. If you guys can, please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. If you guys want to follow us on social media, links are in the description down below, as well as check out our daily content and the weekly podcast. With that being said, this is Rob Novakast signing off. Have a good one and take care. Peace.